Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. I am Keegan Cook, WRJB sports reporter, and I have a massive weekly recap here for you right now. As the Camden Lady Lions take on the Riverside Lady Panthers, the Waverly Lady Tigers, and the Camden Baseball Lions take on Hollow Rock Brewston Tigers. I got 3 victories, 2 player interviews, 2 coaching interviews, and a ton of highlights for you. So let's go ahead and get it started off. Monday, March 23rd, the Riverside Lady Panthers come to town and the Camden Lions pick up a massive 8-4 victory, delivering 2 back-to-back victories to a previously undefeated Lady Panthers team. Carson Douglas took them out and had a great performance, but I want to go ahead and throw it over to Coach Adam Blackburn in our post-game interview.
Coach, so we finished the ball game with a score of 8-4. That's back-to-back wins against Riverside. What do you think kind of sparked this little 2-game series against them for you to come out and pull out 2 big wins?
Well, last week the game was a little different in the sense that we jumped out early. I think it was 5-0, and we ended up being 6-3. And then they got it to 6-5. Addie Conrad, a freshman for us, pitched a good game, and then we were able to bring in Addie Melton, kind of like we did tonight, to close it down at their place. Tonight, I think we were up 1-0, and then Riverside had a good inning where they scored a couple runs, and then we answered. And then in that last inning, they loaded the bases and had a big hit from their girl, and they took the lead. So in the bottom half, I give Adriana Warren, a freshman, credit because she had a great game, had, I think, 3 hits in the game. Yes. But in that spot to come and answer with a leadoff hit, a leadoff double, that kind of sparked our rally. Caitlin Harris, who's probably been struggling a little bit at the plate, I think she would say that, came with a 2-strike, I think it was 3-2 count. She came up with a big hit that scored the run, the tying run. Abby Grace Wallace, who's just now coming back, had the big hit and busted it open, gave us the lead 6-4. Avery Wright gets a great bunt down the first baseline, and then Addie Melton goes solo home run for her second home run of the game. So it was nice to see that we finally broke through.
And that's one thing I was going to point out, the consistency. You might not have had every hit go score a run, but you got girls on base. You continued moving them around the field, and then you're able to bring them home. So with that consistency, is that something you've been working on here in the recent weeks to get the bats a little more fighting? I know last time we talked, you wanted to get them going a little earlier.
We haven't done probably as good a job as what you would call situational hitting. I think there was maybe it was the 4th or 5th inning where we had bases loaded and we didn't get the hit, So that's going to happen sometimes, but you want to give yourself as many chances throughout the games as you can. But, that's where, in close games, situational hitting is going to be the difference. Riverside's a good team. They're scrappy. I give them credit. That pitcher that they threw, both games, she kept them in the game and worked out a jam. So I think they're going to have a good season.
Biggest moment of the night, Addie Melton and her 2 home runs. She took some time on the plate to finish off the ball game. She was hot behind the bat all night long. What do you have to say about her performance and what she did to spark this victory?
Addie's been due. She's had several that were right at the fence that I thought were going to be out, and she's hit some line drives right at people, and so with somebody like her that it's only a matter of time, and she's going to get her numbers where they need to be. So I was excited for her to get two big hits for us tonight. And, the respect that she gets is, she got intentionally walked in one of those innings, and we didn't capitalize on it. But that's, when you hit like her and you have the reputation that she has, sometimes she's going to get intentionally walked. I do want to mention Carson Douglas pitched a really good game. I should have said that earlier. But, I've been impressed with all 3 of our pitchers the last week or so. They've all shown improvement and moving in the right direction as we continue on in the season.
All right. Well, Coach, that will do it for us. I want to get ready to get Addie Melton on here and see what she has to say. Thank you very much. Everybody, I'm here with Addi-Jo Melton, tonight's player of the game. She put up 2 massive home runs to spark the victory for the Lions tonight. I believe you said last season you had about 8 or 9. So far you got 2 on the season. What was going through your mind when you pulled off these 2 tonight?
I was just excited because I felt like I was really due one. I've been kind of struggling the past couple games, and I want to hit the ball. So I was just excited that I finally got to put them up for my team.
All right. Thank you very much to Coach Adam Blackburn and Senior Addi-Jo Melton for those post-game interviews. Let's move on into Tuesday, March 24th, as the Camden Lady Lions took on the Waverly Lady Tigers. After this game, I did not conduct any post-game interviews, but that does not mean there's not plenty of action to dive into. So we start off with Addi-Jo Melton. After her 2 home run performance, she takes the mound, and she shows a few signs of fatigue, picks up 2 home runs early on, but it doesn't take long, as in the second inning, Coach Adam Blackburn pulls her in relief and puts in freshman Addie Conrad. Addie Conrad pulled the Lady Lions out of a sticky situation against our district rivals, and from that point forward, with some good defense, good pitching, and timely batting, the Lady Lions were able to scratch back from a 3-0 deficit to pick up the victory 6-4 against the Waverly Lady Tigers. Senior Abby Grace Wallace went 1 for 3 on the day with a double. She also picked up an RBI and scored a run on her own accord. Senior Avery Wright went 1 for 3 with a double as well, and RBI, also scoring a run on her own accord. Next up, we got senior Addi-Jo Melton, who goes 1 for 2 with a single on the day, and this is that single where she advances the runner to third and puts her in even better scoring position. From that point forward, you can see right here, we got the 2 RBI double from senior Carson Douglas. On the day, Carson Douglas went 2 for 3, a double, 2 RBIs, and scored a run on her own right. Massive day from senior Carson Douglas at the plate. Now, right here, you got senior Kennedy Pruitt coming up to bat. She went 1 for 2 on the day. She got a hit, which you see right here, advancing the runner to third, scored a run, and also drew a walk on the day. So very productive day so far from the Lady Lions behind the bat. Now, you can see right here, there's a bit of controversy. You got the out at second for sure, but there's a runner that is safe but called out. There's a little bit of arguing, but we all moved past it at the park and continued to play the ball game. Right here, you got Carson Douglas picking up a single. 2 at-bats later, you got the freshman Adriana Warren stepping to the plate, ready to deliver a massive 3-run home run to extend the lead for the Lady Lions, at that point giving them a 6-3 lead. Massive hit by her, and all the congratulations in the world for her first career home run coming as a freshman. Now, moving to the mound, I want to highlight Addie Conrad, who came in, as I said, in relief for Addi-Jo. She went 5.2 innings pitched, only giving up 1 earned run, 3 hits only, and she got the victory with a 1.24 ERA. So massive congratulations to Addie Conrad as the girls finish it off. Now that we got Monday and Tuesday out of the way, let's get to Friday with the baseball team, where they take on the Hollow Rock Brewston Tigers and another crosstown rivalry. Now, in this one, the Camden Lions are coming in riding a hot 4-game win streak, and they're looking to pick up their 5th in a row against the crosstown rivals. Now, senior Ethan Ingram took the mound. He ended up going 6.1 innings pitched. You got hot bats across the board and runs scored by tons of guys. We will get into some stats later. But Coach Brandon Parker was so impressed with Ingram's performance on the mound, he wanted me to ask him a few questions in the post-game interview. So I pulled him aside and I asked him, starting off, with such a long performance and so much success on the mound, how does it feel to help your team win a ball game?
Just dialed in, and I had a good team behind me, and I have a great coach, and he helped me through the way, and it just feels good to win.
Absolutely. I know it does feel good to win. Here lately, you've kind of had I don't even know what to call it, but you've kind of just gotten hot here lately. You've been on the mound, had a great game tonight, picked up your first career home run, and throughout this little winning streak you got going on, you've had some good performances. What have you done personally during this winning streak to help your team?
Just focusing on hitting the ball, doing my job, and helping anybody else that's down, and just putting in the work, getting it done.
All right, absolutely. Well, Ethan, thank you very much, man. I appreciate your time. A great game tonight. All right, buddy? Thank you. All right, Coach. So you had a kind of a rough start to the season. At one point, I remember in the dugout, you told me you're going to kind of leave it up to you guys to figure something out. From that point forward, they finished off that game. You said that in very hot, and from there, they've won 5 out of the last 6. What do you think kind of deserves the most credit for this winning streak?
Yeah, so like you said, that game we were down, I think it was 10-2 or something like that. And you were in the dugout, Coach, what are you going to say? And I said, I don't have a lot to say. I'm going to let them figure it out. A couple of them stepped up in the huddle that night. They ended up coming back, I think it was 10-7 or something like 10-6, 10-7, showed some fight. So that was something we hadn't seen really all year. And then we move on to the next week, play some really tough games, pick up a good win. We beat West Carroll, scored 8 runs there, I think it was. We did have a good performance on the mound that night from Harper French, and we put some bats on the ball, but still I didn't think we were there yet. And this week, I believe, I told you a minute ago, we scored 49 runs this week, and we scored now 68, I think, in the last 5 games. We're putting some runs up. I know one of the kids told me a minute ago, he said, hey, great coaching job this week. It's not hard when you got kids putting balls out there, and not, they've been hitting it hard. I would also say there, the pitching we've had, I think that was our 4th or 5th in a row complete game by pitcher. So, you get both of those things working together, you're going to win some ball games.
Considering how hot these bats have been, what kind of sparks that behind the plate? I know you say you just let the guys go out there and play, but is there anything you've kind of honed in on?
Well, we kind of, at first I was preaching, we were watching a lot of fastballs, and I came to him and talked to him and said, all right, we've got to get the bats going. And we've got to start, getting on that fastball, jump on it, and put it out there. Well, we started to, and we were seeing, some hits, wasn't falling, but we wasn't getting a lot of walks there. And so then I started talking, all right, now we've got our bats swinging. Let's work some pitchers. Let's find it. And they've really done a great job just listening, not putting their heads down, but continue swinging. And they've really worked their butts off this last week and a half to put up a lot of runs.
All right, well, Coach, I want to thank you for your time tonight, man. Congratulations on the win, and good luck the rest of the season.
Appreciate it.
All right, and that finishes up a massive, massive week for the Camden Lions. With 2 wins against Hollow Rock Brewston and 2 wins against McEwen, they extended their winning streak to 5, and they even extended it to 6 with a win against Dresden the following week. Moving on from there, we got some stat leaders. Looking at Carter Maines leading the Camden Lions with 16 hits on the season, followed by Axel Mansfield with 15 and Maddox Truell with 12. Moving on to batting average, you see Axel Mansfield in the top spot there, followed by Carter Maines and Maddox Truell again. And in our earned run average on the mound, you got Carter Maines, who's been killing it on the mound, picking up 2.5 ERA with Ethan Ingram and Harper French behind them sitting in the 4s. Looking at the upcoming week, on April the 6th, they start off with the Waverly Central Tigers on the road. Played them the following day on the 7th at home at Camden City Park. Come on out for that. Then on Thursday, they travel to Stewart County, and they're home once again on Friday, April the 10th, against Clarksburg. Now switching back over to the Lady Lions, as I showed you, they got 2 wins against Riverside. They also picked up wins against Huntington and Waverly. Waverly was shown, and they finished the week with a loss against McEwen. But moving on to the stat leaders across the team, you got Kennedy Pruitt leading the team with over 500%, which is an incredible number. Carson Douglas and Adrian Warren are behind her with 417 apiece. On base percentage, you got Kennedy Pruitt as well. Once again, with Carson Douglas and Adrian are sitting right behind her. On the mound for the earned run average, you got Addi-Jo Melton Sr. leading the team with 3 points. Kicking off their post-spring break action on the road against the Milan Bulldogs on April the 7th. And they are back that week at home at Stacey Baker Field against Huntington. And that will finally do it to wrap up this week's recap video. Like I said, this was a massive one, a ton of action. Once again, thank you to Coach Adam Blackburn and Brandon Parker. Thank you to Addi-Jo Melton and Ethan Ingram for spending time with me in the post game. Thank you to everybody that watched. Be sure to come out and check out these 2 teams. They got some great things going on, and these kids are just killing it right now. Fantastic performances night after night out there at the Camden City Park. There's no reason to be missing out. Check out some of these pages I got on the screen right here, and make sure to follow so you can stay in tune with everything we got going on. Once again, thank you so much for your time, and as always, go Lions.